I may never march in the infantry, ride on the cavalry, or shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! Jesus is God. Muhammad is a pedophile. I suppose and I propose as the 12th Imam a new Shahada. Don't give me that Alhamdulillah baloney. Repeat after me. Jesus is God. Muhammad is a pedophile. And Allah is his Satan.
Don't give me that Alhamdulillah baloney. Hello, everyone. Shane Holloway here, and welcome to the Shane Holloway Show. Today, we are discussing what's going on in the West. We know what's going on militarily and geopolitically throughout the world, but we don't know what's going on in the West. So, this one's a bit crazy. Giddy up. So, Department of War. This is what strength looks like. So, this is a viral clip from 3 days ago.
You can talk about peace through strength, but you got to have somebody that does the strength part. You get peace through strength, through being strong, having capabilities, hard power, and the ability to deliver it.
So everything they just said there is absolute facts. The reason why Trump's method is working is because he's using peace through strength. So Secretary of War Pete Hegseth showing off that they're going back to basics in the U.S. military.
Basic training is being restored to what it should be. Right here. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits. Why? To make them the warriors they need to be. Back to basics at Basic as well. Basic training is...
So that's good news, but there's also a lot of controversy and things happening right now. So one of them would be the fallout from Epstein files. So this is Tim Pool, who's known as basically a liberal, but he did vote for, I think he voted for Trump anyway. He's definitely pro-Trump because he realizes the left is a little bit crazy. And he says, this is a nuclear bomb in politics. Instead of engaging in honest criticism of Donald Trump, Democrats chose to collude with Jeffrey Epstein and spread lies about him.
What do you do when Plaskett is in the bag for Epstein? Certainly Epstein's gone now, so she's probably real spun up, right? But in 2019, she was taking direction from the guy. Why? She needed his money. Let me put it like this. When she says, I didn't need Epstein. Yeah? Well, next campaign cycle, you needed another $250,000. And if you did what Epstein said and you were buddies with him, maybe he'd toss you another 30 grand. You expect me to believe you weren't going to go to this man for money? This is a nuclear bomb in politics. And it's sad that right now everyone's kind of disinterested and dejected. And, you know, holidays are coming up. No one's really paying attention. And that's a shame.
That's a very important thing that he just said. And I want you to drill this into your brain. Our side, right, which is the conservative right, not just in America, not just in Canada, not just in Britain, but all over the West at the same time, are starting to fail again. Because A, most of the people are still sheep and have no idea what's going on. And B, the leftists still have the media power. So they can still write the newspapers, they can still create the news reports, they can still write the videos, they can still tell the journalists what to do, they can still tell what the doctors what to do, they can still tell the teachers what to teach, right? So Trump is going to be up for midterm real soon. and he's having a lot of difficulty with groypers, Islamists, socialists, just stupid people, apolitical people that have no idea what's going on. And this is a bad thing because Trump was actually starting to fix everything, right? We need him in power, believe it or not. And I'm a Canadian. I'm saying that. Okay. So let's see what I'm going to go through everything that's going on with Trump. I'm going to go through the stuff that's happening in UK and some stuff that's happening in Canada, and we're going to talk about these problems because this is getting ridiculous. Like, we're going to be ethnically cleansed from our own countries, and I mean every fucking word I just said.
Because the truth is, Democrats had been colluding with Jeffrey Epstein and trying to pass the buck, blaming Trump. Well, let's see what happens. I don't think Trump's an innocent guy.
Like, the left has no problem colluding with actual pedophiles, colluding with Islamists who want to kill us and take our country, and are probably pedophiles too. They have no problem dealing with communists, Marxists. They have no problem going with all of our enemies, the people who killed our forefathers for thousands of years, and in the communist case, 100 years. And they're going against everything that our principles, that the Bible, that our forefathers and our ancestors fought for. And that's why the veterans are pissed, because this is not what they wanted. And we have to wake up and wake everybody else up and show them what's going on, or we will be speaking Arabic in 20 years. And if not Arabic, it'll be like, we'll just be freaking communists, right? Or we'll be like living under a Marxist rule, or the socialists will take over. You know what I mean? We have to be very careful here. We have a lot of enemies on our doorstep. The wolf is on our doorstep. This is not the time to pretend like it's not happening and stick our fingers in our ears and go, blah, 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 blah. I can't hear you. This is the time to sit down, study, and pay attention. Because if not, your life, your family's life, your children's lives, your future is all gone. No more freedom, no more individual rights, no more going to a store and buying stuff. You'll be getting 2 pairs of underwear for the rest of your life, once a year for the rest of your life. You'll be eating moldy bread, and you'll be in a food line for half your life. So enough of this bullshit. And that's only if the commies take over. If the Islamists take over, you'll be under Sharia law, wearing a hijab, and you'll be paying the jizya if they don't kill you first.
In every regard, I don't think Trump's perfect, but this is the cycle of the past 10 years. Stop making me defend Donald Trump, okay? If the Democrats went above board and criticized him where it made sense to criticize him, what could I say? You come to me and say he's a crude, crass dude. I'd be like, well, you know, he did call a woman piggy. I thought it was funny, but I can understand why you don't like that. I can. But when you come out and make up lies about him and it's Trump derangement syndrome, you'll lose me.
And that's from a center-left liberal, or a classic liberal, or like I like to call him, an actual liberal and not a Marxist. Next up, we have Trump approval rating. So this will dishearten you completely. This is Fox News. So this is pro right-wing news station telling it like it is.
President Trump's approval rating falling to 38%. That is the lowest it's been in his second term. People are unhappy with Trump's handling of consumer prices and, yes, the Epstein files. Kim Strassel joining us this morning. Does this mean Trump's affordability message
Look at the smile on her face. She loves this.
isn't working yet?
She doesn't realize that like her whole future is being pissed down the toilet.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Stuart. And this is a huge wake-up call for Republicans. And if you actually look at Trump's approval rating, it actually has been sliding for a while. And I think what happened here is voters had a lot of optimism that he really was going to turn around the economy. And they've given him 9 months now, and they've been waiting, but suddenly they've been looking around, and things really haven't improved to the degree that they thought they would on cost of living. Yeah, I mean, gas prices down in some areas of the country. There are some glimmers of good news here and there, but overall, he's not performed, and that's what the polls are saying. He's not lived up to people's expectations. So Republicans, they got a lot of work to do in a short period of time before the midterms.
Sorry, guys, just messing with the color a little bit there. Now, next up, we have. So that's bad, right? Midterms are coming up. His approval rating's down. Mamdani got in. A lot of bad stuff happening. This is all fails across the board for the right. The right has just got Trump in and gave up. And the right in Canada and the right in America screwed each other over. And then the right over in Britain, I don't even know who they are because there's 4 parties. 2 of them claim to be the right, but they're not even the actual conservatives. And then the conservatives are not right. And then the left party, the left-wing party, the Labour Party is bringing in the Islamists. And now they're being... Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. Next up, we have some people who hate Trump, TDS, like we've been talking about. But these are viral stories, so I want to go through them. So this is a soundbite. Actually, I think this is a pro-Trump one, but there is lots of fake propaganda ones. Like later you'll hear like this clip cut off and you won't hear all this part, but you'll hear like this part right here. And then you'll make up your mind based on that, right? So I want to show you the actual clips before you see them cut off sound clips, okay? Because that's just propaganda.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious.
Look at Trump's face. He's like burning a hole through her right now.
That you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you?
Who are you with?
And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the
But the
worst.
question is
One of the
legitimate,
worst
sir.
in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia. Actually, I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Okay, just you ask Mr. President,
Please,
you allow me to answer. I feel painful about the families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation.
So this is Saudi talking about the 9/11 attacks and a reporter being killed by Saudis, supposedly. I don't know much about that.
That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism. About the journal.
He's right about that because Saudi is probably one of the only countries in the world that'll actually, that's Muslim majority, that will actually prosecute the radicals and is trying to drive them out of the country and be a more moderate state. I'm not going to stick up for Saudi, but I know when to pick a fight, and now is not the time to pick a fight with Saudi. They haven't done anything wrong lately.
First, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
All right, so now we're going to hear some more propaganda. Well, this is actually propaganda. This is a real clip right here. It's going to lead us into the other clips of the propaganda.
Sir, yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Incriminating in the file, sir.
Quiet, piggy. I mean, you gotta admit that's fucking hilarious. I didn't notice this one before. All right. Breaking: an unhinged, visibly rattled Trump crashes out on Epstein files questions. So this is the propaganda, if you couldn't tell. Threatens to revoke license from ABC because your news is so fake and so wrong. You see how bullshit this was? We just watched this clip. Now watch. This is how they twisted the whole narrative.
People are wise to your hoax, and ABC's your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep, the fund guy, was with him all the time. What's his name? Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you. Who else has a...
No more questions from you. So they're trying to paint him as bad, but they couldn't even get a clip out of here that made him look bad, as far as I'm concerned. They tried, though. They really did. The Crown Prince Bonesaw and Cadet Bonespurs together again at the White House. Fuck both these murderous pieces of shit. So this guy might be a Canadian, but he doesn't talk like any Canadian I know. I know, like, some people are mad at Trump because there's a lot of lies going around, but no one is making videos like this and putting out propaganda and all this shit. I don't know who this guy is, but he don't talk for us, and he especially don't talk for the Patriots.
Journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
So you see that? He's took the clip out of context again. And this is a viral clip, right? Like 108,000 views, 11,000 likes. So there's like at least 11,000 people out here who think that this is the truth now. Right? It's crazy. Like this information war is like all day long. Every topic, narrative, everything you can think of. People are out there making up bullshit about it and trying to convince people that it's true. And then that's why everybody's fighting all day long. That's what it is. 100%. And I spend my whole day trying to tell you the facts from the fiction, and people don't like, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time until people wake up and start looking into it themselves. Trump, man. All right, so this is what the bromance between Donald Trump and Saudi Mohammed bin Salman is off the charts. Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, so this is like pro-MAGA. Now we're going to go into the socialist propaganda. So this is Bernie Sanders. He ran for president once, so he's actually like one of the top, I would say one of the top politicians in America, and he's definitely one of the top socialist, democratic socialist politicians. So this guy got replaced by like Mamdani and like, you know, the younger generations. But he does say a lot of things, and he'll say stuff that you agree with because you're like, oh, that makes sense, right? But then when you actually think about it past the first layer, you'll realize like it's just all bullshit. So let's see what he had to say.
About President Trump's invitation and lavish welcome of Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, the dictator from Saudi Arabia. Here he comes into the White House. He is wined and dined. He is Trump's wonderful, good friend. You know who this guy is? He's a murderer. He does not only is he responsible, according to American intelligence.
How many people did socialists murder, Bernie?
For the murdering and dismembering of Jamal Khashoggi, who was a Washington Post columnist who was critical of MBS and Saudi Arabia policy. But in addition to that, he executes hundreds and hundreds of people in Saudi Arabia every year. Women are third class.
They execute criminals, drug addicts, terrorists, right? And they probably don't even execute drug addicts anymore. I mean, like drug dealers, not drug addicts. But I don't know everything that goes on in Saudi Arabia, so I'm not going to sit here and defend them. But I do want the truth to be like, I want you to know the whole story, not just what Bernie is spinning you.
Citizens, people do not have the right to dissent. That is Trump's good friend. What does that mean? What it means is a signal, a message to all over the world that the United States now supports dictatorships. We're on the side of those people who are fighting.
It's not a dictatorship, it's a monarchy.
Democracy, who are supporting authoritarianism.
It's not authoritarian. Well, it's not authoritarianism if it's a monarchy.
But that's not all. Last night in his dinner, lavish dinner in the White House, Trump invited the richest people in America, Elon Musk, Ellison, and many of the other big tycoons, big tech guys, to have dinner with MBS. And what that is about is the fact that the oligarchs all over the world, MBS from Saudi Arabia is part of the wealthiest family on the planet.
That's not true either.
Meeting with Elon Musk, the wealthiest guy on the planet.
Well, let's use the wealthiest.
Go forward in dividing up this world for oligarchy.
The wealthiest family in the world is the Walton family, primarily due to their ownership of Walmart. Their estimated net worth is around $432 billion.
And how they go to war against democracy.
You see how everything he says is like bullshit, but it sounds like it's true?
That's what this meeting...
Oh yeah, the Saudis want to go to war on democracy. No, the Democrats and the socialists are already at war with democracy for forever because they hate democracy. They hate capitalism. They hate democracy. I don't even know why we allow them to run in our country. They have no good intentions, and not just hit. I'm Canadian, obviously. He's running in America, but I'm talking about there's socialists in Canada too. Socialists all over the place. I don't know why we let them just go around doing this shit. It's so annoying. Like socialism never works. Communism never works. Marxism never works. Proto-fascist movements never work.
Is all about. It is a betrayal of what this country is supposed to stand for. It's a sad state of affairs. Our struggle is we're going to fight for democracy, take on Trump, take on the oligarchs. Thank you.
Yeah. You're going to take on no one, dude. All right. So now this is a huge propaganda clip. And this is a bunch of propaganda clips smashed together to make it seem worse than it was. No context given. Propaganda account. Canada hates Trump. Canada doesn't hate Trump. Complete fucking bullshit. I am a Canadian. This Canada's threat to our national security. Take it down, fucking assholes. And then I tagged CSIS Canada, Pierre Poilievre, Conservative Movement, Liberal Movement, Mark Carney, RCMP, and yeah, the regular account. So let's just see what he had to say, because I've seen some of these clips. I know they're bullshit. One of them was the intro to one of my shows the other day.
You wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful. It's very sad.
That's him talking shit to the news, like he always does.
Picture you dropping
I don't know what that was. Never seen it. Probably something stupid.
I'd look her right in that
from like 10 or 20 years ago, right?
fat, ugly face. She's got a
Okay, so who's he talking about? We don't even know.
little bit large. I don't think you should dress like you wear.
She's gotten a little bit large. She does look large. I don't think you should dress like you weigh 120 pounds. That's just literally common sense.
20 pounds.
I don't want to sound too much like a chauvinist, but when I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof. Okay?
That's not even chauvinist. That's just like common sense. You get home from work, you want your supper to be ready. I'm sure he has a maid.
Person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10.
She ate like
That's like a personal opinion.
a pig.
She ate like a pig. That's manners. This is the intro to my show the other day.
See, there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
The boob
That's not even what he said.
job is terrible. You know, they look like two light posts coming out of a body.
Is
Okay, it's personal opinion. Who cares?
unattractive both inside and out.
Ariana Huffington, the one that helped Jeffrey Epstein rape all those children, is unattractive both inside and out. Or she tried to fix Epstein's image. Sorry. She didn't help him rape him, but she tried to help him repair his image after he was caught raping a bunch of people. So, and I'm going to say allegedly, just in case, because I don't want to get sued by Ariana Huffington. But Donald J. Trump, she invented the Huffington Post, if you don't know, his newspaper, is unattractive both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man. He made a good decision. That's
I understand why her former husband left her for a man.
Maybe she should feel that way.
Maybe she should. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
A lot of women out there that, you know, demand that the husband act like the wife.
Yeah, so that's like common conservative. Like he's a Christian. He's not a chauvinist. He's a fucking Christian.
Said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
That one's weird, but I think he just meant that she is a nice woman and pretty or whatever. That one was weird. I'll give you that one. She's really a beautiful baby. She's got Marla's legs.
Beautiful baby. She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What happens if
That's like 20, 30 years ago, man. You hear some of the shit that was on TV 20 years, 30 years ago? Go watch episodes of South Park 20 years ago.
Marla gained this kind of weight? Would you drop her?
I'd say start working out.
I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good.
I would say she's in the 4 or 5 category.
Right.
I like the way she used to look. I don't like the way she looks now.
There are 2 other women now who claim that there'd been sexual harassment.
They probably do love their name split.
Like, if the left doesn't like being called ugly, then maybe don't dress and look ugly.
Across the front pages. You say, oh, hello, darling, how are you? And you get sued because you've destroyed.
And I tell you right now, 90% of these people attack Trump first. Trump just don't attack people for no reason.
Somebody's life. It's ridiculous.
You have a young woman that was in his room, his hotel room, late in the evening at her own will. You have a young woman who was seen dancing for the beauty contest, dancing with a big smile on her face. Planned Parenthood should absolutely be defunded.
That's what I'm saying. Like, some of those women in that Epstein thing, they're probably not nice people. Just because they're victims.
Believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
Do you
In fact, I would imagine that most people who have been traumatized from such an incident would be not nice people because of their trauma.
think she felt pressure to come back after 3 weeks?
I don't think so. I think she loves her job.
She wouldn't have felt a need to do that because you might have replaced her otherwise.
No.
And I'm not saying all the victims. I'm saying there's definitely some of those women that are trying to get something out of this, or they're being paid, or like, you know, there's some shit going on behind the scenes here. I know there is.
Although it's an interesting premise.
I have been better to women than...
Like, they might be liberals and they might actually hate Trump, right? And they might just be doing it just to get the liberals or the Democrats to win, right? You never fucking know what someone's intentions are. I've been better to women than
These candidates, frankly.
Misogyny. Don't give a shit about Islamists coming in raping people, making everyone getting hijabs and not allowed to leave their house because they'll get raped and murdered. Don't give a shit about that misogyny. All the leftists helping, letting all the criminals out of jail after they're beating their wives and fucking raping children and doing all this shit. That's not helping misogyny. Trans people, allowing them to go into the bathrooms, cutting off women's boobs, cutting off men's dicks, sterilizing gay people. That's not misogyny. I could go on all fucking day about the hypocrisy of the left. All fucking day. I could make 40 videos just on the hypocrisy of the liberals here in Canada, let alone all the other parties in the West. And then I could go through history and keep showing you the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy, the bullshit, the bullshit, the bullshit. I could go through all of history and prove to you that liberalism is bullshit. Next up, we got the Pope. Now, the Pope, the Catholics are gone crazy. They're either fascist or woke. I don't even know, like proto-fascist, right? Like Nick Fuentes type of fascist, like Candace Owens type of fascist. I'm not a guy who goes around calling everyone Nazis, but when you are a nationalist and a socialist, and you're saying you love Hitler and you love Stalin and all that fucking shit, then you are a proto-fascist. I don't give a shit if you call yourself a Catholic. You're not a Catholic. I'm a Protestant. I know what a Catholic is. And this is the Pope, and the Pope tell you the same goddamn thing. No worshiping Mary. That's idolism. No hating Jews. No anti-Semitism. You have a long and deep history with anti-Semitism. Stop going into anti-Semitism, you morons. This is the Pope, just what he had to say.
U.S. bishops have made a very strong statement about the deportation and detention of migrants. What do you think of it? And they kind of said that you've got their back. Were you behind that?
Well, I've made some statements about that already. I appreciate very much what the bishops have said. I think it's a very important statement. I would invite, especially all Catholics, but people of goodwill, to listen carefully to what they said. I think we have to look for ways of treating people humanely.
Now, just because I didn't preference this properly, breaking. In a stunning move, the Pope just came out in support of U.S. Catholic bishops who took a powerful stand against Donald Trump's cruel immigration policies. This is amazing. Cruel immigration policies. You mean not letting rapists come in, rape children, kidnap children, kill women, rape women, kidnap women. 350,000 children disappeared. There's a rape tree outside the border. There's I could go on all day about all the stuff that the left let happen. And then Pope has the nerve to say that it's cruel. You know what's cruel? Being a moron and letting your people get hurt. That's the opposite of being a good shepherd. The good shepherd protects his flock, not lets them all be eaten by wolves. This is why I'm a Protestant.
Treating people with the dignity that they have. If people are in the United States,
not that our church is any better, as woke as hell,
illegally, there are ways to treat that. There are courts. There's a system of justice.
Don't even get me started on King, because the King's going to Islam worship, and the Pope is letting the Muslims come into the prayer room, and it's disgusting to me that they're allowing this to happen. The very people that are supposed to protect the innocent are the ones allowing the innocent to get hurt.
I think there are a lot of problems in the system. No one has said that the United States should have open borders. I think every country has a right to determine who and how and when people enter. But when people are living good lives, and many of them for 10, 15, 20 years, to treat them in a way that is extremely disrespectful.
Some of these people just never got caught committing crimes. That doesn't mean they're good people. And all this propaganda that people are making about ICE, like detaining people that didn't weren't supposed to be detained and all this shit. Half of it is AI. So, like, I don't know what they've been telling this Pope, but it's bullshit. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can't say everyone ICE deported was a bad person, but I can tell you that 99.9% of them were.
To say the least, and there's been some violence, unfortunately. I think that the bishops have been very clear in what they said, and I think that I would just invite all people in the United States to listen to them. Thank you.
Yeah, right. You know what they're talking about. Yeah, here's another one, another story. Pays to hate Jews. New York Post, late city final. Cash for hate. Muslim activist group, CAIR, C-A-I-R, paid money to anti-Semitic militants who trashed college campuses. And you can see here, Muslim advocacy group, Council on American Islamic Relations, which has been designated a terrorist group in Texas now, gave out $1,000 checks to reward protesters at Columbia University and other schools who trashed buildings and harassed Jews while declaring their hate for Israel. So remember we were saying paid protesters all summer long. No one believed us. Boom. Here is your left-wing newspaper telling you that they were paid protesters. Get out of my face. Next up, Nick Sorter. Breaking. An Antifa terrorist has just been found guilty in federal court after he launched an arson attack against a Portland ICE facility in June, per Andy NGO. So this guy's been covering, he's a New York Times bestselling journalist. He's been covering the Antifa protests for a long time. Trenton Edward Baker, who identifies as trans, now faces 20 years in prison. FAFO, fuck around and find out. You don't believe that there's Antifa? Look at this guy. Antifascistische Action. So anti-fascist action. That is an old symbol too. And you see right here, he has some kind of incendiary device. I'm guessing it looks like a flare to me. But we don't know. It could be explosives, could be anything. I think it could be fireworks. I think someone did throw fireworks at the cops during the summer, so I think that might be this guy. Now, next up, we're moving over to my home province, which is having some trade deals. So, if you can see here, Newfoundland's been having some problems with Quebec because for 54 years, we had a deal with them for hydroelectricity. Now, Americans, you might want to pay attention to this one, especially if you're in New York, because we generate a lot of electricity here in Newfoundland, and then we try to sell it to the Americans. But the problem is the only way to get it to New York City is to go through Quebec. And 50 years ago, Quebec said, well, the only way we're going to let you come through our province is if you give us 80% of the profits. And then the Canadians let it happen because Quebec has more votes than us. So now our old liberal government made a deal with the Quebec to renegotiate it and acted like it was so awesome. But they left out all this important information that we didn't have when they tried to renegotiate the deal. And now our new conservative prime minister, or premier, who's actually progressive conservative, so he's like half woke and half conservative, right? Whatever that means. And he's trying to renegotiate this deal. And now Quebec said a couple days ago, St. John's, Quebec's energy minister says if Newfoundland and Labrador pushes for changes to a draft energy deal between the two provinces, Quebec will make new requests of its own. So this made me savage because they've been screwing us over for 54 years. So here's what I had to say. I'm already 100% dead set against any deal with Quebec. Don't trust them, not 1 inch, not 1 watt, not 1 goddamn second. They already raped us once with Churchill Falls, and they've been laughing all the way to the bank for 54 years while we eat dirt. I'd rather dynamite the whole fucking gorge and let the province sit in the dark forever than send this thieving bastards one more electron on their terms. I'm sick to my soul of it. My whole life, my father's life, my children's future, bled dry because Ottawa sold us to Quebec like Isu sold his birthright for a bowl of red stew. No more. Burn the draft, salt the earth, walk away, and never look back. Because the Bible already warned us exactly who we're dealing with. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw away your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn and tear you to pieces. Matthew 7:6. Our water, our power, our future. Those are the pearls. Quebec are the pigs. And we already let them tear us to pieces once. They only want this deal now so they can sabotage it on the day Poilievre wins. Carney and every last one of his smug globalist cronies can burn in hell before I ever trust them again. Never again. Not 1 watt. Not ever. So, but that was important. Because it affects Canada, affects Quebec, it affects Newfoundland, and me, and it affects New York City Americans, you know. Anyway, this is actually originally in Mexican. This is got a lot of likes and a lot of views. You remember the civil unrest in Mexico the other day? Well, this guy said, "Israel viva," so viva Israel. He said, "Can I ask you a favor? Don't stop talking about the repression in Mexico. No one from the left is going to show it or tell it to you, but the Mexican people count on us to make it visible, okay?" So when I did the story, we found a Jewish man saying that these protesters were far right and they hated Jews, and then they showed graffiti of them being far right. Now we have a Mexican called Viva Israel 1948. So it's a pro-Israeli Jewish Spanish man. Okay? And he says this, right? Now watch. This is really confusing me because I don't know if the Jews are on the left or the right, or if they even know if they're on the left or the right in this issue. Not to mention, don't forget, we've seen a rabbi raising Palestinian flag on the town hall, the city hall, not long ago in Canada. And then there's another one where a Jewish synagogue was being protested by pro-Palestinian activists. And then it pans to the left. Wait, now let me find that first, actually. Let me find this real quick. That's another story right now. I'll find it while we're watching this video. So, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like 7 guys just kicking the shit out of someone unconscious on the ground. All right? Cops come with their shields raised. They protect them. It looks like a cop, actually. And then they push the guys off, and then they start beating the shit out of this guy. Because I think if we look back, this guy would not leave. You see that? Let's see what happens here. So everyone bolts. This man gets grabbed because he won't stop. And then the cops are trying to arrest him, so they beat him to the ground. Now this is too much force here, right? This is what everybody's talking about. This part right here, right? So how can I say anyone is the good person in this photo? The cops that tried to save that man, they're good. The citizens that stopped and didn't fight and attacked the cop, they're good. Everyone else is the victim of the situation or a bad person. It's hard to tell these things yet, so I'm going to reserve judgment for now. But you can see this can happen in any country. This could happen in your backyard tomorrow. So, and you won't know who's the good guy. You don't know who's the bad guy. You don't know why it's happening, right? You just got to figure it out. So this doesn't look like a good cop here. You know, they're backing off and then they come forward to kick the guy in the head again. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like the cops are doing their job properly. So you can see 37 people. Looks to me like the cops just saved that unconscious man from being stomped to death to me. I'm going to delete this because now I realize that a lot of stuff happened there. And then this right here, look. Actually, don't look. There was some ketchup on the ground there because we're on YouTube, right? But this guy got seriously injured. You can see he's woozy and dizzy. But like, I don't know if he got attacked because he was attacking, you know? So Mexico, Canada, America, right? Now let's go to the UK. So I'm not doing Germany and Sweden and all those places because I don't know those places very well. I'm just dealing with like places near me. And then maybe we'll do a whole other show with like Sweden and stuff. Now this is a 30-minute video. I don't want to go through the whole video, but just show you what's going on inside the Royal Air Force's bases in the UK right now. They took them out of the hotels and put them in the military bases. The military bases in the UK, in case you didn't understand what I'm saying, are filled with foreign men who hate us. Okay?
The British uprising is coming. We will only be gaslit for so long before we say enough.
Do it.
Fuck me, we are being gaslit, right? Like, the idea that Shabana Mahmood and
200%.
Islamist, a literal Islamist, who used to welcome illegals onto the shores of the Greek islands, is the woman to crack down on the invasion. Come on! How stupid do they think we are? Indeed, after 24 hours of tough talk, which was designed to trick the cucked MSM, Mahmood, there, look, she's actually admitted. Her plan is to...
We are open, tolerant, and generous country. New, safe, and legal routes for genuine refugees. You can't make it up. We are an open, tolerant, and generous country. We will protect genuine refugees by opening new, capped, safe, and legal routes. Capped. And who decides what the cap is there? Shabana Mahmood. And if you really think that this is a good plan, why is everything in tiny, itty tiny letters down there?
Welcome more people into the UK via the so-called safe and legal routes.
So I wish we had more time to go deeper into this. I didn't really research it a whole lot, but that's because there's more happening as of me recording this. So let's see what Dan had to say again today.
Slippery Starmer is now a dead man walking as the left pulls support. The regime media has turned, even his propagandist at the fake news agents are gone. And his former closest political allies, from Wes Streeting to Shabana Mahmood to Ed Miliband, have even launched leadership campaigns even in
the Ed Miller Band.
in the open, even though they can't actually call them leadership campaigns. That's in a bit, of course, to stop the even further left.
You can't make it up. And I think that anyone in their right mind that's seen everything that I just showed you, at least I pray to the Lord above that they would see what I see and realize that these people are just, at the very least, parasites taking control of whatever they can, whatever power they can, whatever money can, whatever resources they can, taking control of it and then using it to get more, right? And just more and more and more, and greed and greed and greed, the sins of the Bible, right? These are sinners, like actual sinners. And then you have people who are actually evil, like the Islamists, like the actual radical Islamists that want to ethnically cleanse us and take our land.
Andy Burnham and Angela Rayner. As Lee Harris revealed, hearing there is a reasonable possibility Keir Starmer will be gone by Christmas, literally everyone hates him, including the Labour Party. Worst Prime Minister in history.
Yes! So, Trump is on the way, maybe on the way out. Starmer is definitely on the way out. Mark Carney is on his wagon wheels, wobbling all over the place, but he's staying on the road, you know what I'm saying? So, we need to wake more people up, more people. We're losing the information more. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog to tell his dog buddies, tell your cat to tell his cat buddies. You know what I'm saying? Tell everybody, tell the birds, record it, leave a tape recorder on the ground with all this information in it so someone will pick it up and listen to it. Take a note, put it in a bottle, put the bottle in the ocean, and in 20 years someone will find it and realize what's going on. You know, make a video. Take a video, make a song, write a letter, write a poem, do whatever you can to make sure that everybody knows what the fuck is going on, okay? And I'm sick of doing it. There's only like 20% of the world even knows what's going on. And out of the 20% of us, probably only 2% of us are actually like not an enemy, right? So like 2% of the critical thinkers are on our side. But at least our critical thinkers are 100 times smarter than their critical thinkers. So what we need to do is get all the critical thinkers together to critically think about what's going on so we can figure it out, you know? So this shit don't happen. Because I am losing my mind. So here's another clip from the Dearborn, Michigan protest that surfaced later and Tommy Robinson shared. So this is going viral. And let's go over this.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30 City Hall meeting.
So this guy was put in jail during Jan 6 because of the fake insurrection that was like the left. Some people on the left, some people on the right. They both wanted it to happen. But it was mostly like the leftists were in power, so it was their job to stop it from happening. And then they blamed the right because the right's the one that did it. But the left is the one that made it happen. And we could get into all that shit, but that's going to come out soon, real soon, because I've already seen the evidence years ago. Still going through courts, people are still arguing about it. But in a couple of years, everyone will know the truth about Jan 6. Anyway, Trump pardoned this guy, and now he's gone to Dearborn, Michigan. So I got a little respect for this guy, not gonna lie. He's doing the Lord's work.
Because everybody's chimping the fuck out. They're chimping the fuck out. I don't have bananas. Chill out. I don't have bananas.
So this is Nick Shirley. He's also a really good journalist too. I recommend following this guy, Nick Shirley.
This is not America. This is an insurgency. They are taking over our country.
They're just like the guys, remember in Lebanon, when the IDF struck that place, they did that strike, and then we seen the first person footage, and it showed like the guys running through the town, they're like, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, running towards the explosion. It's like if I made a cartoon and I was trying to design a character that was brainwashed, and I wanted to show the audience that he was brainwashed without telling the audience he was brainwashed, I would literally draw those people running through the streets going, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
They're taking over our country. They want us all dead. Let's go.
Wow, what's happening right now? People are pushing. This one. Wow. This is Dearborn, Michigan right now.
Yes, this is Dearborn, Michigan. Any racist is not welcome. No races here. If you can't be peaceful.
If no races is welcome, what are these guys doing here?
Welcome. But every race is welcome. If you're a racist, you're not welcome.
At all. We do not.
Every race is welcome. 1, 2, 3. Our president is a pedophile.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30.
So just so you know, I gotta disprove everything he said. So he said, don't want any racists in there, right? Take a look at this. Quran, or you can spell it C-U-R-A-N, doesn't matter. I like saying K-O-R-A-N because I don't really give a shit how they spell it. 2191, slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Quran 328, Muslims must not take infidels as friends. Quran 385, any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. Quran 533, maim and crucify the infidels if they criticize Islam. Quran 812, terrorize and behead those who belong in scriptures other than the Quran. Quran 860, Muslims must muster all weapons to terrorize the infidels. Quran 865, the unbelievers are stupid, urge the Muslims to fight them. Quran 95, when opportunity arises, kill the infidels whenever you find them. Quran 930, the Jews, the Christians are perverts, fight them. Quran 9123, make war on the infidels living in your neighborhood. Quran 2219, punish the unbelievers with garments of fire, hooked iron rods, boiling water, melt their skins and bellies. Quran 47:4, do not hanker for peace, and with them infidels, behead them when you catch them. I don't know. Who do you think is more racist, guys? Now, this is a lovely little story coming from right here at my home. So, yesterday I went outside for a smoke with my neighbors, and I found this head outside on a hill by a picnic table. And my friend kicked it into a fence where it kind of like nestled in some leaves. And we thought, that looks like a shrunken voodoo head or something, right? And we were like, that's evil. Because I don't know if you could see this. I can't zoom in on it. But if you look, you can't really see it, but there's actually mold in the eyes. And there's no eyes. And there's like a rope going through the nasal bridge, like around it, and then up through the head so that you could hang it from something. And this is old cracked porcelain doll with like, it almost looks like it has blue lips. Like this looks like a possessed baby doll. And it showed up in a pot outside my back door. I live in an apartment building, so it wasn't my pot. But someone put this thing in someone else's pot and left it by our front door. Now I took a picture of it. I'm trying to get footage of who put it there, which I will share in the show if I do find it. I asked a pastor. He told me, or an exorcist, pastor who's also an exorcist, who told me this is not evil. I also looked it up on AI. No matches for voodoo, no matches for witches, no matches for satanic rituals for various reasons. Witches use real skulls. Satanists don't really do their rituals in front of other people's doors. They do them like privately. And voodoo is usually with real skulls and not baby heads. So I don't know where I don't know what kind of message this is. I don't know if this is a haunted doll. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But I told the police. I made a report just in case. It was a malicious act by someone who doesn't like my show or doesn't like me, doesn't like the things I say. So if anything happens to me, I love my life. I love my job. I love you guys. I would never kill myself. And no matter what anyone says, I would never do that. And I would tell someone before if I was thinking about that. So if I end up with my arms and my legs tied behind my back and hung or something like that, something impossible to happen, you know for a fact it wasn't me. And I'm going to tell you right now, my belief in the Lord would stop me from killing myself. So if anything happens to me, someone did it on purpose, or it was a horrible accident that I caused by being stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's my show, Shane Holloway Show. If you like the show, please leave a subscription, leave a like, share with your friends, help the show out, spread the message. Sometimes all it takes is just sharing my video with somebody else. If you don't want to have the argument with them, that's fine. Because cognitive dissonance will make people mad at you because you're causing actual physical pain to their brains. Because their whole worldview is like this, upside down, and you're taking it and flipping it the right way. and they're like, whoa, you know? So anyway, be careful. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't try to convince someone. Show them something from someone who knows what they're talking about instead. And stay safe, guys, because this is bad juju out there. Thanks for watching. Peace.